Okay, today is August 14th, 2023, and this is my trade recap. Coming into the morning, I had improper sleep again. It's actually 2 days now of improper sleep. Just been really struggling to sleep lately, and the past 2 days actually, I've been meditating every night, and I just can't fall asleep for some reason. And today I had close to 4 hours and 30 minutes of sleep. So coming into the morning, I knew I can't give myself the size increase that I wanted to, because I failed to get the proper sleep over the weekend, and I didn't get my meditation in the morning. I was in the middle of it, but I saw a potential play, so I just pulled the trigger prior to uh, actually getting my full meditation in, and I didn't even fill out my DRC because this wasn't a trade that I was really looking to take. It's just something that I saw uh, once I looked at my chart, and you're not in the right state of mind when you're uh, in a lack of sleep and you don't have that meditation. But the good thing about this one was this was a very tight risk play, and this was uh, a valid signal actually. This was a trendline dip buy um, into a very tight risk where the risk reward really made sense here. It was an entry not on this candle. I was watching this candle to see if there's any buyers, but on this candle here is when I took the long right here into this dip, into that retested this entry level into 89.75s and 89.5s. Had about 10 contracts, risking about $50 on the trade, and then this is where the fuck up happens. Of course, lack of sleep probably played a major role, and just not being prepared for the market open with my DRC just gave me the lack of confidence on this setup. I took it out a little premature before this level even broke. Once it started retesting my entry, I just took it all out for a break-even trade. Um, and this was the first trade right here. It's technically a valid entry, but premature stop, so this isn't a great trade. Um, this was a bad execution trade here. And the trade after that was re-entry on that same trade on the next candle. Once I realized that I took an exit without it giving me a reason to exit, and I saw some buyers step in, I took it long right here on this candle. And I understood that my risk is a little bit wider now, so I'm risking a little bit more. Uh, and the risk reward no longer makes that much sense either, because onto the next price target here, first price target, is actually to this key resistance level at this 4491.75 level, and the risk reward doesn't really make sense to take that risk free scale if you want to keep the trade winning trade no matter what, or break even trade worst case scenario. You can't lock in any profits into this move because that's not even a 1-to-1 anymore. So whereas if I stayed in that initial position where I got it long here, this would have made sense to take that risk-free trade, take half off into this move to keep this a risk-free trade, and that would allow me, if this were to reclaim this level and start to hold, and then this is a even better looking setup, and it's probably going to continue higher and give me wider targets. Or if it fails to reclaim this level, then I'm out for a break-even trade. So this is the only this setup is only valid if you can get that risk-free scale into this predictable part of the move, this bounce here. But because I was in at the terrible price, I had uh, some profit targets out at 92s, at 92.25s, somewhere around there, to get that risk-free scale. Of course, that level never reached, and it just came back and uh, broke below right around here. This is where I took a partial exit right here. I tried to take a partial exit 5 contracts out, but I accidentally ended up going long 5 contracts. So that was another tilter. But immediately I noticed that, and I stopped out at that 5, and the rest of my contracts out at this 8-9 break. I believe actually it was 4488.75 break. So this ended up being a slightly bigger loser than planned because of the accidental add, but and a little bit of slippage. But great job sticking to your stop, and terrible entry that stemmed from poor executions from the prior trade. The next trade I took was a flip short. So now this is after 2 tilting prior trades. This is a key. This is an area where I can start to look for revenge trading. This is usually when revenge trading starts to occur. So this is the trade that I really need to dissect and ask myself, was this a valid trigger? Was this a valid short? And if you're looking at it objectively, it is. So this had a last effort to go to the upside here, which I was already involved in the long side play here, but it didn't do anything, and sellers really stepped in here. In that case, the next short right here, the break of this 448 8.75 is a valid trigger short, where longs had one more chance to continue higher but failed to do so. Longs are on the wrong side of the move from these levels as well. So there's going to be at least a flush of those longs needing to stop out. So that's what I'm trying to take advantage of here. So I took the short here, and then covered into the first predictable wash for that risk-free scale. And now into any sort of bounce, if it's rejecting harshly, this was a 50% retracement level from this high to this level, I added half my position, moving my stop closer to this 4490.25 level. So now even if it comes back to stop me out at that level, it's a break-even trade. But now I'm in 10 contracts again at very tight risk. And then into first predictable wash, I just take a just very tiny partial off into these lows. And then once this candle breaks below, I get one more trigger cover here. And then once it reclaims, now it's kind of looking at a little sketch where this could be an area where shorts are stuck on the wrong side of the move as well. So I just want to keep this trade a winner no matter what. So on the break of this candle high, I took another 3 contracts out, moving my stop tighter to this 448 8.75 now on the rest. And then right here, I saw potential for a re-add of those 3 contracts that I took out right here. Just no buyers are really stepping in at all. So I immediately took that reshort right here once this bear flag on the 1 minute triggered, and then covered into the predictable wash right here into these lows. So this is a great risk management on this trade, and great executions. Mainly, I want to emphasize the great risk management on this trade. If there a mistake on this trade, I'm trying to think. I can't spot any. The only thing is that if you want to keep this a really high probability winning trade, the risk should have been off this 4491.75. However, the risk reward didn't make sense in my opinion for me to be risking that wide. So I used the tighter risk off this 4490 level. And then the next trade was a complete, it's not an invalid signal, it's just a very subpar setup, very, very subpar, into a hour short signal where there's no buying pressure whatsoever. You shouldn't be looking to go long here, but it's looking super extended, and I just wanted to take advantage of a potential long. And this is into way too much selling pressure here. There's no buyers that are stepping in. You can buy into key levels, tight risk levels here off this 4477.5 was the risk level that I was using. And I thought it made sense to average down into these 2 levels for that $50 risk on this trade, risking off that 7.5 level, but no buyers really stepped in. So then if buyers don't step in, there's no reason for you to go long. This is a key level where you're expecting a bounce, right? So watch to see buyers step in first, and then into some sort of confirmation, risking that level, you can take the buy. But I just didn't wanna. I don't know. I just didn't want to miss any play today, and that's just the lack of sleep talking, the lack of meditation, me just not wanting to be in front of the screens today. But that's not an excuse. If you don't want to be in front of the screens because you're tired, or you know you're gonna fuck up because you are tired, then you gotta just step away and be okay with that. And that's one thing I did do after this trade, after it stopped me out. In my mind, I was red on the day. I was down like $50 on the day after commissions in my mind when I was doing the calculations. And I still, walked away. I locked it in for the day, closed out my broker, and started reviewing my trades. So, great job, despite hitting deeper levels of tilt, being able to walk away, and especially thinking that you're red on the day. It didn't really affect me at all. You just walked away. So, great job on that. And terrible job on sleep and meditation today. Great job on sizing, great job on risk management, but just overall pretty bad trading day. A C minus is my grade on my DRC just because I stuck with the 4 trades max and the max risk. But my first 2 trades could have been improved quite drastically, especially the first one with a premature stop, and the last one where I'm just impulsively taking tight risk to buy trades again for no reason. Just trying to force trades. But yeah, just gotta call it a day. Alright, that's it.